What's up, Gemini? With your April love general reading. This is for my lovely Geminis, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is a general love reading and may not resonate with every Gemini out there. So let's go ahead and see what messages Spirit has for you for the month of April. So I feel like your person, if they were to run into you again, it would really call them to action, like with the Judgment card and the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands. It's like they would see you, and I feel like immediately they would feel a lot of passion for you, and they would definitely want to talk to you. And it's like, I feel like it would just really make this impression upon them that it's like, it's time for them to start a new cycle here. Like with the Judgment energy, it's time to maybe release the past and move your connection forward in a positive new direction. With the Two of Pentacles, I'm almost feeling it's like they would want to rebalance the connection somehow, work things out with you. So if there's been any sort of disharmony between the two of you, or, your person's been maybe prioritizing other things, I feel like your person would feel like they really want to put this connection first and also put in more effort towards you. Like definitely they would want to take action towards you here, passionate action. I feel like they would feel very attracted to you as well with the Knight of Wands energy. The Knight of Cups is very special as well. I feel like they would feel very happy to see you again. And it would really cause them to reflect on how perfect you are for them, is what I feel like, that you are sort of like their dream guy, dream girl. You're just like this person's ultimate wish. I feel like it would feel like a wish fulfilled to see you again. So maybe this person has been secretly wishing or even like manifesting a reunion between the two of you, or running into each other, something like that. They would make them feel very content to see you again. And yeah, with the King of Swords, I feel like it would bring them a lot of clarity on how happy you really make them, just to see you again and be in your energy again. All right, let's get some clarification. Clarify the Nine of Cups. How would pile one's person feel if they were to see pile one again? Clarify the Nine of Cups. We had the Two of Cups. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's super cute. So yeah, it's like they would feel like the wish to be with you is, really something they would feel very deeply. Like this person really, really wants to be with you. I feel like there's very strong mutual feelings, definitely soulmate energy. So I feel like they would want to take the opportunity, if you guys were to see each other again, to maybe move things forward into some sort of a union between the two of you guys. If you guys aren't already together, I feel like they would definitely not want to let it like slip between their fingers, because I feel like this love with you, this relationship with you is like definitely something I feel like your person has been, like I was saying, like maybe manifesting for a long time or wishing for a long time. Especially if there's been like a period of disconnect or separation, it's like it would just really bring back like all those like blissful feelings. Like even if your person has ever tried to sort of deny their feelings, if they saw you, they would definitely kind of fall in love with you all over again, if that makes sense. Clarify the Knight of Wands. How would pile one's person feel if they were to see pile one again? Yeah, so it's like they would feel a lot of desire here. Again, this manifestation energy keeps coming up here. They would feel a lot of desire, a lot of wanting to call you into their reality. So I feel like, again, because this is like more masculine energy, I feel like they would want to be the one to take action towards you. But it would be kind of like divinely inspired. Let's see, clarify. It's like they would want to make it happen, again, like not wanting to lose you, not wanting to be apathetic and like let it slip away. Clarify Judgment. How would pile one's person feel if they were to see pile one again? Ooh, the Chariot. Yeah. Again, this energy mirrored here, like with the Knight of Swords and the Chariot, like wanting to rush towards you. It's like it would feel like a new beginning here with Judgment. It's like time to just completely clear out any old, you can kind of see like cobwebs, skeletons from the past, things that no longer serve. And it's like they would just want to rush towards you. So, there may be a lot of drama that has happened between the two of you, a lot of things that have happened. But I feel like your person would feel very called to sort of, just let all that go. And, I feel like seeing you again would also sort of herald like a new chapter in their spiritual evolution and just like their personal evolution. And I feel like they would be called to ascend maybe beyond their old patterns, or cycles, things like that, karmic cycles. Let's see, clarify the Knight of Swords. How would pile one's person feel if they were to see pile one again? Clarify the Knight of Swords. How would pile one's person feel if they were to see pile one again? Clarify the Knight of Swords. Clarify the Knight of Swords. We have the Six of Wands, Queen of Swords, and the Hierophant. Okay, so yeah, definitely I feel like with the Hierophant energy, it's kind of giving me commitment vibes here. Again, there's a very spiritual aspect to, I feel like, your connection. Yeah, feeling like they want to have a really strong victory here with the Six of Wands, wanting to be confident, wanting to pursue you, very much that Knight of Swords energy of just rushing in, going for what you want. With the Queen of Swords, I feel like this is about them wanting to be honest with you. Interesting how the King and Queen of Swords would come out together. I feel like this person respects you and your boundaries. I feel like they know that you are very perceptive and that you kind of see through any sort of lies that they've ever told you, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like what I'm hearing is like they can't really be fake with you. So I feel like they'd want to come through with honesty. And I feel like maybe they'd even want to communicate with you about their spiritual journey here, like with the Hierophants or like the High Priest. This person might be, you know, might have been working through a lot of their own personal challenges recently, working on kind of committing more to their virtues. And I feel like your person would want to show up that way, like show up in a virtuous way. You know, it's like they want you to respect them here. But almost with the Queen of Swords, I'm feeling like you're the kind of person where you don't give your respect away to just anybody. You know, you kind of know your worth, you know your value. When it's like your person would want to show up almost like this champion, like, you know, look, I've worked through my stuff. I've worked on myself. I can match you in terms of, you know, maybe even at one point you were way ahead of them in spirituality and stuff like that. And like, I feel like they want to come forward and say, like, look, I can match you. I can talk to you about these sort of things. Like, I understand them now. Because with the Hierophant, I feel like they've learned a lot of soul lessons, through this connection. I feel like they've really learned to apply those things as well. All right, let's get some oracle cards. Pile one. How would pile one's person feel if they were to see pile one again, please? The Mirror. Whoa. So yeah, definitely with the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, this is like definitely counterpart energy. Mirroring each other, self-image, relationships reflect our wounds and introspection. So I feel like you've made this person do a lot of introspection. This is definitely counterpart twin flame energy as well, if that resonates for you. So they might even feel a little bit triggered if they were to see you again, just because I feel like they would see so much of themselves within you, the good and the bad. You know, it's like the beauty, the parts of themselves that are really, you know, the light attributes, but I feel like they'd also see their dark attributes through you. And, you know, it might really cause them to think about themselves here, things that you guys have experienced together, and maybe even, you know, things that trigger them that you do. Maybe this person is starting to learn to see what that's telling them about themselves rather than just project that blame onto you. That might be a lesson that they've been having to learn. How would pile one's person feel if they were to see pile one again? We have healthy choices, making healthy choices in love and life, self-love, self-care, and being happier. So I feel like you definitely, again, it's like with the Six of Wands energy, the Hierophant, it's like you call this person to be the highest version of themselves, especially with Judgment. It's like you call this person to their highest timeline. You bring out the best in them. I feel like they feel healthy almost when they're with you. Like, you know how there's some people where you're around them and it's like their energy is just like draining and toxic, and there's just so much, you know, sort of karmic energy around them that it feels unhealthy being around people like that. Whereas I feel like you are like a breath of fresh air. Like I'm seeing like really good filtered water. Do you know what I mean? Clean air, fresh water, like sort of like, you know, really beautiful vegetables, like a really beautiful salad. It's kind of a weird way to describe somebody, but it's like you feel healthy. I feel like you make this person feel clear, almost like you're sort of doing like energetic healing on them just by being near them. Or maybe you do Reiki or things like that. And then we have love and kisses, unconditional love, self-love. See, self-love keeps coming out here. Self-image, self-love. You bring up a lot for them about themselves for sure. Oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. We did have the Two of Cups. So yeah, they definitely would be feeling this energy. And then we have kisses, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, and falling in love. So yeah, it's like they would be falling in love with you. They would feel very magnetized by you, very, very healthy. I feel like they would feel that pursuing this connection would also be the healthy choice for them in life. You know, maybe they've gone down other avenues, other paths, experienced, you know, darker, denser, connections and people and situations. And it's like, you definitely don't feel that way. Like, you don't weigh them down. You know what I mean? It's like they leave your presence feeling uplifted. How would pile one's person feel if they were to see pile one again? We have angelic assistance, divine guidance, loving support, and opening a heart, deep connections, and water blessings. That is so beautiful. So, you know, they might even have a spontaneous sort of heart chakra awakening here, if they were to see you again. You know, they might even feel like they would, like it's sort of like it would overcome them, all these emotions here. It's like it would really bring up a lot of feelings, and it might even be a bit overwhelming at first. But I feel like it would bring out that watery, sensitive side to them. And then it's interesting, angelic assistance, divine guidance, and loving support. So again, this energy of you kind of helping them get in touch with their own higher self, their own spirit guides, things like that. It's like you may have a very high vibrational energy here, and it's almost like they would feel like you are like an angel, or sort of like a being from, you know, a higher place, beyond this dimension almost. And that loving support, it's like, you know, maybe just being held by you, or just even being near you, looking into your eyes feels soothing. It feels like being home. It feels like being comforted. You know, maybe they would want to open up to you about what's going on in their life, and just, you know, see that compassion and empathy in your eyes. I feel like it would be very, very soothing to be around you. I just got the image of, like a spa, like, you know, like those Japanese spas, with those really beautiful tubs and things like that. I almost feel like that is sort of the energy you have, like tranquil energy, soothing, like tea tree oil. Maybe you like tea tree oil. All right. Also I heard chamomile. So maybe those are things that you enjoy. And you smell like that. All right. What would pile one's person like to say to pile one, please? We have family. You are part of my soul family. Beautiful. Again, this deep connection. So I feel like, you know, regardless of what's happened between the two of you, or, you know, whether or not you're in union, or, you know, in contact, things like that, this person feels like at the very core of their being, you guys are soul family. This is a deep connection. This is, a lifetime after lifetime sort of connection. You know, maybe you feel that way. It's like you really do have unconditional love for each other that almost feels familial, like the love you would have for a parent, or, you know, a sibling. Of course, you know, not quite. It's definitely romantic, but that kind of unconditional love where it's, you know, no matter what, you are part of my soul family. I'm not going to give up on you. I'll always care about you, kind of thing. What would pile one's person like to say to pile one, please? What would pile one's person like to say? Mask. My fears made me hide behind a mask and live a life of illusion. So there may have been masking in the past. They may have, again, gone down other pathways, or, you know, had to learn the hard way, maybe, about opening their heart, you know, things like that. Emotional, and feeling so emotional right now about you and everything that's happened between us. So they are having a heart opening. We can see that we have the love card and the opening heart. So they are feeling emotional. So definitely, if you're feeling emotional, if you've been kind of you know, out of the blue, unexpectedly crying, things like that, that could be your person's energy as well. Insight. I'm seeing everything clearly now. And we saw that with the, King of Swords. And then wish. You are my wish fulfillment. You're absolutely perfect for me. And didn't yes, the Nine of Cups came out, at the very first. That was the first card to come out. So that's definitely clarification and confirmation that yes, you are this person's wish fulfillment. And, you know, maybe it terrified them at one point and they did wear masks with you, but that doesn't mean that they didn't care. You know, sometimes the ones we love the most, we have the hardest time expressing our feelings to. Sometimes, let's see. All right, pile one. What does pile one's person want to say to pile one, please? What does pile one's person want to say? This one says, sometimes I feel like we're the same person. And didn't we have the mirror card coming out? So there may be some really uncanny similarities between the two of you. You might relate to that. I can feel the passion between us building. You are my guiding light. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Like with this angelic energy, that is super interesting. So you're like guiding them home to themselves, I almost feel like. Or maybe you're, you know, you've been an important catalyst for their spiritual journey, you know, helping them reconnect with source, reconnect with themselves. Definitely very divine feminine energy coming from you. Earth angel vibes. Sometimes I feel like we're the same person. What does Pavlin's person want to say? This one says, walking away from you broke me. So it could be that there are times where your person has walked away, abandoned the connection, or at least attempted to, and it really has, it's like kind of like a self-abandonment because it's sort of them denying their own feelings. I wish I knew how to tell you how much you mean to me. You deserve to know. So this could be something they're preparing to do, is open up a bit and be more honest about their real feelings. Because they do feel like, you deserve to know. It's like they don't want to be maybe confusing anymore. Maybe they know they've been very confusing in the past. That could be something they regret even. Let's get some of these cards. What does pile one's person want to say to pile one, please? What does pile one's person want to say to pile one, please? What does pile one's person want to say to pile one? We'll be together soon. So this could be a sign that you guys are going to meet up. Maybe you guys already have plans to see each other, or there could be some sort of meeting that's being arranged currently, maybe by the divine, by your guides. You're being guided to reunite. What does pile one's person want to say? Every day I'm so grateful just knowing that you exist. You're my forever. And when we're alone together, it feels like we're the only two people on earth. So you might get that sensation. I don't know if you guys know that scene, but in Pride and Prejudice, the one with Keira Knightley, that scene where they're dancing in the ballroom together, and then all of a sudden, like, everybody else disappears and it's just them. That's that feeling that they get with you, where it's like, they could just bask in your energy and just sort of live in it, and it's like, maybe when you guys part ways, it's sort of a shock, like, wow, there's other people, there's a whole world outside, like, they kind of forget, they get so wrapped up in you and the connection. All right, guys, so before we close out your reading, I'm going to get a message from this deck, which my mom just bought for me unexpectedly, which is very sweet of her. It's by Tosha Silver, who I really love. She has a great book called It's Not Your Money. If you're looking for advice on how to manifest abundance, that's a great one. Totally helped me clear out some blockages that I had personally, so definitely recommend her. She's great. All right, what does pile one need to hear right now, please? What does pile one need to hear right now, please? What does pile one need to hear right now, please? All right, so I'm going to take these two. Oops. So this one says surrender. Sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hardest. Stop trying to control the whole universe. This is very true. And, especially if you're on a twin flame or, very deep soulmate journey, there may be times where it does feel like you just have to, it gets so painful, it gets so confusing that you do have to just kind of, give it up, let it go to, God, and just have that faith that no matter what, things will turn out. And that, the ego loves to control, loves to manipulate, to feel safe, but eventually you do have to learn to sort of let go, because that clinging feeling will ultimately be very destructive and cause a lot of unnecessary anxieties. And sometimes we do really just have to let go. And then things will oftentimes just be brought into our life that are, what's best. And we kind of learn to make peace with that. And then this one says non-duality. Let your authentic humanity shine forth while also bowing to the inner divine. You can become fluent at both. So this is sort of about integrating the ego with the higher self, or with sort of the universal God that's within us. So it's like, being your most authentic you, not being afraid to, kind of, I'm getting this image of like, wearing clothes that you like, if you like to wear makeup or do your hair, doing all those things that really express who you are. And not, repressing those things, so that, you try and act like you don't have an ego, like you don't have a personality, because that is part of, being on earth, is, honoring who we are, our traits in this lifetime, but also, not just losing ourselves in the surface and, what we want people to perceive of us, or, who we think we are based on how we look, things like that. And it is that really beautiful merging of kind of like heaven and earth, you know what I mean? That, sort of that masculine and feminine that we can do within. Super interesting. So take those as they resonate. It's been lovely reading for you, pile one. Thank you so much for watching. Sending you lots of love and beauty and bliss and abundance. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. All right. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number two. You guys are doing fantastic. So let's get into how your person would feel if they saw you again. All right, pile two. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again? How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again, please? Two of Wands. 2-2. Interesting. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again? We have the Seven of Cups choices. It looks like the Queen, or not the Queen, the High Priestess. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again, please? How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again? How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two? And what pile two's person feel? We have the Empress. Maybe that's why I said the Queen energy. It's like the Empress did kind of pop up in my head. It may have a very queenly vibe or kingly, very royal. I heard majestic. Let's see. It's like either you're very tall or your energy is very tall. Like you have a big presence. Let's see. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two? Ace of Pentacles. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again, please? How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again? In the Tower. Oh, wow. Very intense energies here. Okay, so your person definitely holds you in a high regard. I can see that with the Empress and the High Priestess here. I feel like you definitely hold a lot of divine feminine energy. Regardless of what your gender is or how you identify, your energy is very, very much that beautiful, fertile, beautiful, gorgeous energy of the Empress. So you're quite unforgettable, and I'm sure you're very physically appealing, especially to your person. I feel like they think you're just quite lovely. There's something very sensual about you. And again, there's this energy of fertility and creation. So, they may even think about you being the parent of their child. They think about what you guys could create together. Perhaps you're a person that's very skilled at manifestation as well. Maybe you're very tapped in with your sacral chakra, your ability to, create your dreams, very abundant sort of person. It's like the Empress kind of feels like, a really balanced divine feminine, who's kind of very pleased with herself, pleased with her life. You've kind of called everything in. I feel like you have a very beautiful existence. So if your person is to see you again, I feel like they would be very fixated on you here. Your person may be sort of in a place right now where they're having to figure out the direction of their life with the Two of Wands and the Seven of Cups. It's like they may be feeling like, there's multiple paths that they're feeling pulled towards. But I feel like if they saw you again with this energy of the Empress and the Ace of Pentacles, it's like it would kind of become very obvious to them that no matter what choices they have in front of them, they could go somewhere else, be with somebody else, things like that. They would really start to see how the only choice they really want is you and this new beginning here. So, it may clear out a lot of confusion for them to see you again, because I feel like it would just really stir something in them, and then they would feel like, I do love this person. I do think this person is so special and so wonderful. And, this is maybe the person that I really do see my future with. And so I feel like your person does also fantasize about you with the Seven of Cups here. I feel like there's a very dreamy energy to you. I'm getting you kind of look like a character from a movie or something like that, or sort of something like almost like getting like a fairy or something like that, where it's like there's something almost supernatural about you, sort of I'm hearing like exotic or sort of ethereal. That's what I'm getting, like sort of like an elf or something like that. There's something very magical about you, and I feel like it would really charm them. I feel like you really have this energy about you that's very inviting and very alluring. Also, we do have the High Priestess and the Tower. So I feel like the Tower sometimes represents sort of like Kundalini activation to me. It's sort of like this energy that sort of, pulls you to release, limitations and old cycles and unhealthiness. So it's almost like your presence as this very divine feminine being would sort of make them sort of question and maybe even reconfigure their life. So it may even cause them to want to leave, let's say, a karmic partner behind, or a karmic situation, or a karmic behavior. It's like, even if they weren't consciously thinking about it, or it's like you didn't tell them, you need to leave your partner, or something like that. It's more like just your energy would activate them in such a way to shake them out of maybe some sort of spiritual slumber that they've been in, and force them almost to release, some sort of negativity here. It also, I'm almost feeling there's a bit of fear here as well. You may bring up anxiety within them as well. It's almost like you make them question who they are and, you know, their direction in life. And like, you know, again, it's like you really make them start thinking deeply about things. That's almost like existential crisis is what I'm getting, which is very interesting. So let's clarify a bit now. Clarify the Empress. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again, please? Clarify the Empress. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again? Two of Swords. Look at that. Crossroads. Clarify the Empress. How would pile two's person feel? Nine of Cups. Yeah, so again, it's like this person almost, I feel like, is having to make these choices. They're at this crossroads in their life. And what they would really see is that, you know, the side of the road that, you know, turns down your direction is the wish fulfillment. It is the, you know, the path of self-actualization. But again, it's like, I feel like you're ultimately what this person really wants. And I feel like there's a certain level of maybe having to feel worthy of you as well. Because I feel like you are such, you know, you're such a catch. You're so beautiful. You're so abundant. You know, you're so much this person's dream that it's like they would have to decide that they do deserve you, or decide that they, you know, they are worthy of this. Let's see. Clarify the Seven of Cups. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again? Clarify the Seven of Cups. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again? Look at that Nine of Pentacles. A kind of similar energy to the Empress always, I feel, the Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, they would, you know, really see your value and your worth here, which is interesting with the Ace of Pentacles. It's like they would want to reciprocate your value here, you know, show up with this new beginning here. Clarify the Ace of Pentacles. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again? Clarify the Ace of Pentacles. How would pile two's person feel if they saw pile two again? Clarify the Ace of Pentacles. We have Judgment. Interesting. Yes. Wake up call here. Spiritual rebirth, awakening. Just like the energy of the Tower, sort of. I feel like the Judgment is like a slightly less dramatic version of sort of like the Death card or the Tower. It's like more of like a gentle, spiritual, as opposed to the Tower, which is sort of like cataclysm, but ultimately leads to good things. But yeah, again, that self-evaluation. Who am I? What do I really want? A wake-up call. It could even be that if you guys haven't seen each other in a while, especially for those of you where it's been time, and maybe I'm hearing like for some of you, there's a specific message that there's been distance and time between the two of you, and you've had kind of a glow up. Maybe you've, you know, worked on yourself, you know, energetically, your energy is, you've raised your vibration, or, you know, you're looking really extra beautiful. I almost feel like if they were to see you again, it would sort of like strike them. They're like, wow, pile two has even gotten prettier than the last time I saw them, or more handsome, or their energy's even better. Which would again be that kind of wake up call where it's like, I need to do something about this connection. I need to do something about my feelings here. Clarify the Tower. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again? Too many. Clarify the Tower. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again? Clarify the Tower. How would pile two's person feel if they saw pile two again? Clarify the Tower. How would pile two's person feel? Okay. I'm just going to go, let's see, the King of Wands and the Lovers. Okay, so yeah, that is that Kundalini energy, kind of like I was picking up earlier. Definitely this person has a lot of desire for you physically. Again, with that Empress energy, there is this aspect of, you know, birth and creation, things like that. And yeah, this person would be struck by a lot of feelings of passion, a craving of intimacy. They're very attracted to you, but I feel like it could come as a shock here with the Tower, especially if there's things that they already have in place, you know. But I feel like it would kind of, again, make them evaluate if they need to leave those things behind to be with you. Because their intuition would really be knocking at the door here with the High Priestess, telling them, you know, this is the person that you want. All right, let's get some oracle cards. Pile two. How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again, please? How would pile two's person feel if they were to see pile two again, please? How would pile two's person feel if they saw pile two again, please? How would pile two's person feel? Sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. The Dragonfly. Ooh, and Twin Flames. Cool. So let's look at these and see what's being said here. Okay, so I kind of get it with the sunglasses. For those of you where you have this person on social media, or you kind of see each other around, even from a distance, like I'm getting something about, maybe your coworkers, or you work near each other, you live near each other, maybe you see each other at the grocery store or something like that. Anyway, so I feel like whether or not you know it, your person does spend a lot of time maybe looking at you on social media, stalking you, but I feel like they definitely do it in sneaky ways. It's like they may not, like with the sunglasses, it's like maybe they don't want you to know just how fixated that they are. And I'm almost getting, it's like, because they have the sunglasses on, it's like you can't see that they're staring at you. So, it may be that if you were to see each other again, they would feel like they would want to play a little cool, like, oh, I'm not obsessed with you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you went to Mexico? Like, I have no idea. It's not like I was stalking you on Facebook or anything. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting here. Um, yeah, so, they would definitely maybe try to play it a little cool, but they definitely would be staring at you, which makes a lot of sense. They think you're very attractive. Then we have the dragonfly. Be lighthearted, finding out things coming to light, adapt, change, heal. So it could be that there have been maybe repressed emotions that your person's had for you, things that they haven't told you. I feel like they would want to maybe express those feelings, those desires. Maybe they would want to flirt with you if they never have before. And then we have the twin flame energy, yin yang, zen, balance, union, duality, coupling, complement each other. So, regardless of whether or not you feel like this person is your twin, there is a very strong divine masculine and feminine, connection here, which you can see with the lovers. So I feel like your person would be, feel really just magnetically pulled to you. They feel a lot of passion for you. Again, that Kundalini energy of the King of Wands. And I feel like they would want to see if, they could come into a union with you. I feel like they would really crave your energy. It's like they would feel like, you sort of mirror them and complete them in this way. So there's definitely a high degree of magnetism between the two of you. So if they did see you, I feel like they wouldn't really be able to keep their eyes off you or really stay away from you. I'm also getting, even if they did try to play it cool, I feel like eventually they wouldn't really be able to. It's like they would want to out of sort of self-protection, but I feel like eventually they would sort of let down their guard a bit and show you that they really are into you. All right, how would pile two's person feel if they saw pile two again, please? How would pile two's person feel if they saw pile two again? So we have soul radiance and courage. Interesting. This is all very, I feel like for some of you, your person may be a fire sign, even Leo possibly, or you might be, so it's interesting. Phoenix rising, sort of like the Kundalini rising that I was feeling earlier. So it's like you would really activate them here. You make them feel radiant. You make them feel alive. And it's like you would kind of bring out this fire within them. And then literally we have like the strength card, courage, strength, fierceness, and family. So, you would bring out that kind of Leo energy where it's like they would kind of want to maybe even claim you as theirs. Some Leos can be kind of possessive, especially when it comes to people we love. We get very attached, very loyal, very protective. So I feel like it might bring out that almost animalistic side to them where they would want to sort of make you theirs, things like that. I feel like you bring out this very primal energy in your person. They may be a very intense person, especially if they are a fire sign or they have a lot of fire in their chart. And I feel like you really bring the heat out in them. Pile two. All right, let's get some words from them and see what they'd like to say to you currently. What would pile two's person like to say to pile two right now, please? What would pile two's person like to say to pile two right now? We have fantasy. I dream of us being together. I fantasize about you often. Wasn't I saying that with the Seven of Cups? I was like, I feel like this person fantasizes about you. So they do fantasize about you. Again, they might, look at your photos and think about you in that way quite a lot. Let's see. They might have a very active imagination. All right, pile two. What would pile two's person like to say to pile two? Oops. All right. Well, this one flipped over. Cycles. There are major karmic cycles that are being balanced out between us right now. So that could be very true. There could be karmic energies leaving, your lives wrapping up currently. What would pile two's person like to say to pile two, please? What would pile two's person like to say? Spirit, I'm connecting back to source and oneness. That's beautiful. Yeah, with this soul radiance, it's like they're getting back in touch with themselves. Manifestation, I'm envisioning a beautiful future for us together. It's funny, I was going to say here, like with this fantasy energy, I was like, I feel like they're manifesting you if they are fantasizing about being with you, even if they don't know it. And then literally the manifestation card. So they may be an active manifester. Or it's like they're just inadvertently doing it by fantasizing about you so much. And then we have sensuality. Your body is my temptation. I want you. Yeah, your person is definitely a sensualist, very passionate. Again, a lot of physical desire and attraction for you with the Empress. So yeah, really, I feel like your person does, if they have access to pictures of you, I feel like they're really looking at those all the time. Your person may even be a little bit obsessed with you in that way. You really just have a lot of passion for you, I feel like. All right, what does pile two's person want to say to pile two? Your love is all I want. What does pile two's person want to say to pile two? I want to talk to you and see how you've been. So there may be communication coming from this person if you haven't talked to them in a while. They might want to catch up with you, or, literally just ask you to hang out, chat. I wish I could tell you that I never stopped loving you. So for some of you, there may have been a breakup between the two of you, or this person has never, told you that they love you. We have, I want to see you in person. Kind of funny given the theme of the reading. So yeah, I feel like your person's going to ask you to hang out soon. And then I love you with every fiber of my being. Very sweet messages from your person. What does pile two's person want to say to pile two, please? What does pile two's person want to say to pile two, please? You have touched my heart so profoundly, I know it will never be the same. I feel you in my heart. So definitely a heart chakra activation that you bring up with them. What does pile two's person want to say to pile two? Together we are one eternal love. That's really sweet. That is that twin flame energy, soulmate energy. I feel like this person, again, like I've never stopped loving you. So especially if this is a connection that, a person you've been with in the past, and, maybe you keep reuniting and then going into separation, things like that. I feel like they've never stopped loving you, and, they always will have those feelings for you. All right, pile two, before we close out your reading, let me get you a message from this lovely deck. I think that's called the Divine Abundance Oracle by Tosha Silver. It's really good. I love her books. She's awesome. She's really funny. All right, what does pile two need to hear right now? We have extraordinary and deepening. So this one says, there is a wild and impetuous uniqueness to you that deserves to be honored. So definitely come into that energy of accepting yourself for who you are. And, your uniqueness is definitely what makes you very attractive, especially to people that are your true matches, friendship and romantic. When you're really authentic, I think it's super magnetic to people. And then deepening. Once you're on earth for enough lifetimes, your old soul will begin to long for non-grasping detachment and surrender. They bring the peace of God. Beautiful. I love this black cat. I had a black cat growing up, so you might relate. Maybe you've had a black cat in your life. But yeah, so I feel like this is definitely confirmation that, I feel like you already know, but, those of you that resonate as being an old soul, this is definitely agreeing with you. And then again, yeah, you might be finding yourself sort of at a bit of an existential, point in your life where you're starting to, feel less attached to the material plane because you've kind of, mastered that realm of things. And now you're sort of onto mastering of, the self, the spiritual side. Because I feel like there are levels. It's like physical, intellectual, and then spiritual. So I feel like maybe you're sort of graduating, so to speak, from, the more than, learning to manifest money and, create those things. Like that is an important, aspect of the journey spiritually. But I feel like eventually, once you kind of master that realm, you start to definitely crave something a little bit deeper and more meaningful. And maybe you are kind of coming into that energy of non-grasping and sort of detachment. And I'm also hearing you might feel like you don't relate to other people and, their goals, what they want. And I think Spirit's telling you that it's okay, that if your goals are more esoteric and, again, unique, people don't maybe really understand you, that, if you feel like your whole life no one's ever really understood you, it may just be that you're an old soul and you're just really not meant to be on the same path. And also hearing like if conventional education or conventional career paths have just never appealed to you, that could definitely be a sign that you're, meant to do something higher, or literally just spend this lifetime, introspecting and working on your spiritual growth. And that's definitely okay. All right, pile two, sending you so much love. It's been a pleasure reading for you, sending you lots of abundance and beauty. Please take care of yourselves. All right, bye-bye. Hello, pile three. Welcome to your reading. Hope you guys are feeling fabulous. So let's get into how your person would feel if they saw you again. We do have the Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Cool. Oops. Oh my gosh. Struggling. 1 second. Yeah, I felt a wave of nervous energy all of a sudden. So maybe there's a lot of energy coming up for you and your person, or a lot of anxiety that they're feeling. All right, pile three. How would pile three's person feel if they saw pile three again, please? How would pile three's person feel if they saw pile three? We have the Star. We have the Nine of Pentacles. How would pile three's person feel if they were to see pile three again? There's the Magician. Six of Pentacles. Wheel of Fortune. Pile three. How would pile three's person feel if they saw pile three again? And the Fool. Wow, so many major arcana here. Very cool. So I feel like your person is just sort of enamored with you here, with the Star and the Nine of Pentacles. With the Star energy, I'm almost feeling like you literally could be a star. Maybe you have like Instagram, or you're like an influencer, you have some level of fame, or you just have like star quality, even if you don't have any social media at all. It's like you just have that star quality, that magnetism. There's also a beautiful feeling of, I feel like, hope and optimism, and magic to you. I feel like you also would make this person feel connected to themselves, connected to source. It's sort of like, with something very ethereal and mystical about you. So I feel like, if they were to see you again with the Six of Pentacles, it's like they would want to give you something. It's like they would want to give you validation, like compliments. It's like they would want to really, give to you, give you love, things like that, affection. Maybe even money for some of you. It's like, it's almost like you're this muse to them, and it's like they almost just want to, the love that you give to them, the feeling that you give to them, it's like they kind of want to reciprocate that love and that feeling, whatever way they can. And I almost feel like maybe this person is really good at giving gifts, like, buying things for people. And it's almost like, because you're so magical and so inspiring to them, that hope and that beauty that you bring to their life, it's like they almost want to reward you, like, for that, if that makes sense. It's almost like, it's like when someone, like, let's say a famous singer is on stage, people throw roses and things like that at them. It's like, because they're so inspiring, they're so, amazing. It's like they just want to shower you with things and affection. Very, very pretty energy. I feel like your person is a very generous person. So then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So again, you're very valuable. I feel like there's this interesting energy, though, where I almost feel like you are this star, you are this beautiful, magical being, but I feel like you're very grounded and you're very humble about it. It's like you're grateful for what you have. You're very grateful for your gifts and your charisma and your magnetism. And it's like you're aware of, how special you are. But I feel like you don't brag about it too much. I feel like you're just very grateful and appreciative for what you have. And it almost makes your person just admire you even more, because it's like you could totally just every day be bragging about how great you are. But I feel like instead you have this sort of quiet confidence. And I feel like it's because you're very connected to your spirituality. So you get a lot of validation, I think, from that connection, as opposed to needing it from other people. So with the Wheel of Fortune here, I feel like they would feel the sense of destiny with you. The sense that, being around you is helping them shift into a higher version of themselves. There's definitely very spiritual aspect to this. And it's like, they would definitely want to shift your connection into a really positive energy here. Let's see. And then we have the Magician and the Fool. So seeing you would make them feel empowered is really what I'm seeing. It would make them feel like, they want to embark on this journey with you here with the Fool, a fresh start, release their baggage. It would make them feel like kind of like the master here, like with the Magician, that's someone that's mastered the inner world, the outer world, as above, so below. They've mastered the elements. And it's like they just feel powerful. It's like, I feel like you activate your person's spirituality as well. They may have a naturally shamanic side to them. And I feel like you, with the Star being you and then the Magician here, I feel like you're a very spiritual, powerful couple. I feel like your person would feel a lot of desire here, to be with you as well, to call you into their reality. I feel like you bring them a certain level of confidence as well. All right, let's clarify a bit. Clarify the Six of Pentacles. How would Pile Three's person feel if they were to see Pile Three again? Clarify the Six of Pentacles. How would Pile Three's person feel if they saw Pile Three again? The Sun. Yeah, look at that. Again, the energy of optimism and happiness, joy. I kept saying like optimism, hope, all that stuff. It's like you just make them feel so happy, and that's why they want to give to you. It's like you make them feel overjoyed, and it's like they can't really do enough for you, almost is what I'm getting here. So I'm getting for some of you, your person's love language is gift giving and maybe acts of service. They may be that kind of person, more physically oriented. So I feel like your person would want to do things like that, like acts of service, maybe take you to nice restaurants, buy you things again. I just saw the image of like candles and perfume. It's like, that's sweet. Maybe your person would like to buy you those kind of gifts. Let's see. Clarify the Nine of Pentacles. How would Pile Three's person feel if they were to see Pile Three again? Oops. Too many. Reshuffle. Clarify the Nine of Pentacles. How would Pile Three's person feel if they were to see Pile Three again? Clarify the Nine of Pentacles. How would Pile Three's person feel? The Chariot. So yeah, they would feel that there's a lot of divine masculine energy coming from your person. It's like they would feel like, you know, they would sort of set a goal to be with you here, to, you know, become a part of your world. It's like they would feel very determined to take action and pursue this goal, which makes sense again with the Magician. It's like they would feel empowered to take this leap of faith to come towards you. I feel like this is a very significant connection because of all the major arcana that keep coming out. Clarify the Fool. How would Pile Three's person feel if they were to see Pile Three again? I'm almost getting with the Fool an additional message. It's like they feel sort of like a fool in love, you know, but not in a bad way. It's almost like, you know, when you're kind of just lovesick and, you know, you're just struck by it and you're kind of floating on a cloud, just sort of, you know, in this energy, in this sort of love bubble, honeymoon energy. That's sort of how they would feel if they were to see you. Where it's sort of like, you know, I'm hearing like simp or fool, like they are a bit of a fool for you, but I feel like they're kind of okay with it. Cause they like that feeling in a way. Like they like how much, you know, power you have over them in a way that it's like they like being in love with you. Clarify the Fool. How would Pile Three's person feel if they were to see Pile Three again? Clarify the Fool. How would Pile Three's person feel? Two of Pentacles. Clarify the Fool. How would Pile Three's person feel if they were to see Pile Three again? And the Ace of Cups. So yeah, it's like it's interesting that the Two of Pentacles kind of came out reversed, which can be about juggling multiple options. Not necessarily that your person has multiple options, but I feel like it's sort of indicating that they would want to really, again, sort of maybe give up their other priorities in life. It could just literally be, you know, their work life and stuff like that, or whatever else they put their attention to. It's almost like, you know, instead of trying to juggle multiple priorities, it's like they'd rather just pick this Ace of Cups and just roll with it. Again, like I was saying, like kind of like a fool in love, like wanting to take that leap of faith and just, you know, jump towards you, follow their heart, let their heart guide them. Really sweet energy. All right, let's get some oracle cards. All right, Pile Three. How would Pile Three's person feel if they were to see Pile Three again? How would Pile Three's person feel? So we have Paradise, Mask, Sword in the Rose, Hammer, and Twin Flames. So let's see what's going on here. So yeah, we have the Sun, obviously, Paradise, happiness, joy. So they do feel like, you know, you bring them so many positive feelings. But we do have the Mask, which is interesting. But I feel like the Sword, the Rose, and the Hammer and the Mask are all sort of connected here. So it's like, you know, this person may have a tendency to sort of pretend and, you know, maybe act like their feelings aren't really there, or that could have been a pattern, you know, it could have even been a self-sabotaging pattern where it's like, sort of, you know, dismissing their own feelings, trying to hide from them, or, you know, acting like they don't care even though they do. But I feel like with the Sword and the Rose, it's almost like they want to cut the tie to maybe this behavior, this self-sabotage. And it's like they want to rebuild this connection. It's like they would want to work on things with you. And again, it has to do with clarity, because this Mask is like, you know, the opposite of clarity. It's the opposite of truth. It's pretending to be something that they aren't. And it's almost like they can see how that behavior is just destructive to this happiness that you bring them. And so it's like they would want to just step into this energy of, balancing head and heart and really being true to themselves, because we do have this beautiful twin flame energy here, yin yang. So it's like if they were to see you again, they would really feel that energy that you really do complete them, or you make them feel you make their life feel complete. You make them feel like they found their perfect person, and so they don't want to maybe repeat self-sabotaging behaviors that perhaps they have at times done in this connection or in past connections. So yeah, it's like they would feel like it's time to, let the happiness and let the joy in and let go of all this other stuff, that gets in the way. It's like really being open-hearted here, giving and receiving love and affection. How would pile three's person feel? Let me reshuffle. How would pile three's person feel if they saw pile three again, please? How would pile three's person feel if they saw pile three again, please? How would pile three's person feel? Sweet. We have go with the flow, letting go, cleansing, and receiving. Isn't that interesting here? It's almost like they would also be allowing themselves to receive, because that mask may even be a blockage that they have to receiving love. And look at that, like literally the energy of the Fool, letting go, going with the flow, letting their heart guide them, letting their intuition guide them, instead of being so self-protective. We have sensuality, feminine wisdom, and passion. So a lot of passion here, definitely that twin flame energy. They would feel very attracted to you here as well. And we have bright heart light, open connection. So there would also be, I feel like a heart chakra opening, if they saw you again. And it's like they would want to be more open here and like allow that love that's within them to pour out. You can see like there's a lot of energy around the heart here in both of these images. It may even be like if they are around you, they may even feel energy in their heart space, just being in your presence, and it may call them to express that love, express that energy. All right, let's get some messages from them now and see what they'd like to say. What would pile three's person like to say to pile three? Love, I'm so deeply in love with you. Beautiful. Well, that's very clear. Definitely with the Ace of Cups. Oh, that's so sweet. You person does have a lot of love for you here. Beautiful. All right. Let's see, pile three. What would pile three's person like to say to pile three? What would pile three's person like to say to pile three? Healing. I'm doing inner work right now because I want to heal. Look at that with the hammer energy, working on it. So they are working through, their issues. Maybe they're really looking at that mask that they wear and their behaviors. What would pile three's person like to say to pile three? Unforgettable. There's no way you could ever leave my heart. You mean so much to me. Beautiful. What would pile three's person? We have changed. I'm not the same as I used to be. I'm evolving into a better version of myself. And look at that. They're healing and they're changing. And neither of those cards came out in any of the other piles, and they seem very connected. So definitely, I've also heard a message that some of you may literally be manifesting your person healing, or you may be aiding them in their healing. And this is sort of confirmation from spirit that it's working, even if it's sort of behind the scenes. Look at this. Repair. I want to mend the broken parts of our relationship. How synchronistic, literally, with the hammer, like sabotage and rebuilding. That's pretty crazy. Wow. So, if there are broken parts of your relationship, they want to mend those. It's also, the broken parts of themselves, those sharp edges that may be causing problems or have caused problems in the past. Again, it's like you really do inspire a lot of hope and healing within your person, pile three, like with the star energy. You may be a natural healer as well. All right, what would pile three's person like to say to pile three, please? What would pile three's person like to say to pile three? My feelings got hurt and I reacted out of pain and fear. Look at that, like with the hammer. So this person may have a tendency that if they get triggered, they start getting reactive, they start getting hurtful, they start shutting down, putting on masks. And I feel like this is part of what they're looking at. It's like, when they feel triggered, instead of immediately trying to hurt your feelings back or, be manipulative or whatever, it's actually doing a self-reflective and saying like, well, what is this actually saying about me? And, what is my concept of self? Why is this triggering me, rather than taking it out on you? So, if your person's ever been hurtful to you or really, sabotage your connection, remember not to take it too personally, because it's, when people are hurtful to people that they care about, it's really more, like those feelings of like unworthiness or unlovedness within themselves. and anger at the other person for, you know, not treating them the way that they want, or, upsetting them, rather than realizing that, it's an issue within them. You know what I mean? Like the other person didn't cause, them to feel insecure. It's like they triggered an insecurity that was already within them, if that makes any sense. Let's see. What would pile three's person like to say to pile three? What would pile three's person like to say? I'm ready to give into the temptation that is you. So there's an energy of surrender here. You're the best I've ever had. So definitely, you are the best. You have the best around. I feel like, again, with that sensual energy. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. So interesting how healing, repair, change, all this keeps coming up. So there may be an apology on the way for some of you, if it's like a recent argument or something that's been going on. This is also just the Ho'oponopono. This could be, their higher self even asking you to maybe forgive them and release some sort of pain towards them. I'm finally letting myself feel all the emotions I've repressed for so long. So your person may be sort of the type that does tend to dismiss their feelings, hide things away, things like that. But I feel like this is part of their healing, as all these things are coming up and they're actually allowing themselves. Look at this. I'm shedding my past self and going through metamorphosis, change. I'm not the same as I used to be. So many messages of this. And like I said, these messages about change and healing did not come out for any of the other piles. So this is very much relevant to your connection for sure. Let's get a few more from this deck. Pile three. What would pile three's person like to say? What would pile three's person like to say? What would pile three's person like to say? You are the best part of my life. You light up my whole world. I'm thinking about what to say to you. I want to tell you the truth about how I feel. You're my heaven on earth. And then let's see what fell on the ground. So yeah, definitely I'm feeling communication. Again, maybe an apology for some of you if that's necessary. Two fell on the floor. Love me tender, and I'm realizing love is the only thing that truly matters. So I feel like this person does have, very, very tender emotions for you, very tender, beautiful feelings. And I feel like they want to express that. It's like they want that very intimate, vulnerable love to be exchanged between the two of you. And again, this is a really important realization your person is having, that their masks, their fears, their ego is not really as important as, maintaining that sense of safety or whatever. Is not as important as the real exchange of love here. That, maybe they don't have to be right all the time. Maybe it's better to just allow peace and, acceptance to flow between the two of you, instead of, maybe having power struggles and things like that. All right, pile three. Before we close out your reading, I'll get you a message from this deck. This is the, I believe it's called the Divine Abundance Oracle by Tosha Silver. It's a really beautiful deck, and I recommend all of her books. She's awesome. All right. What does pile three need to hear right now? What does pile three need to hear right now? What does pile three need to hear right now? So we have energetic clearing and letting go. So these seem very connected. So you have during crisis or crises, the Holy One herself may be emptying you of fear and attachments, preparing you to receive her luminous plan. This is really cool. Very, very intense imagery. So for some of you, I'm almost getting, there's like an ego death going on with you, or you may be feeling like, you are having a crisis, a dark night of the soul right now. And, this may be part of the plan of you having to release, attachments to things that no longer serve you. So if you do find yourself in this very intense energy, maybe a crisis, sort of state, definitely seek help psychologically if you're, really struggling. But, I think this is saying to have faith, because it may be transforming you. Whoa, you and your person are both changing and transforming. That's super interesting. I can definitely see that. Then we have letting go. Everything is indeed out of control, and God will hold it all. I can safely let go. So, literally, as you're doing this energetic clearing, as you're being cleared out, this may be a very good mantra or prayer. Everything is indeed out of control and God will hold it all. I can safely let go. So, it may even be calling you to let go of attachment to this connection. Not to say that you're not going to be with your person. Definitely not saying that. It's more like, if there's an unhealthy obsession or need for it, it can be very good to let that go and just trust that, it will come to you, or something even better. So you can kind of just, go back to enjoying your life, if you've been very caught up in all that. Or maybe there's other things, that you need to let go of for your own, mental well-being. All right, pile 3, it has been very lovely reading for you, sending you lots of love and beauty and abundance. Please take care of yourselves and stay safe. All right, bye-bye.